Before the first shadow, heaven was a single, unbroken light. The celestial hosts moved as one breath, a chorus without discord, each voice and wing attuned to the same ancient purpose. There was a brilliance that was not merely brightness but order, a clarity that made every intention visible, every duty sacred. In that time, the spheres sang with the sound of fidelity. The air itself seemed to remember the first command and answer it without hesitation. The unity was not a dull sameness but a living harmony. Each angel bore a place, and each place bore a meaning. Joy was not noisy. It was the steady pulse of obedience. Glory was not spectacle. It was the quiet radiance of things kept in their appointed measure. This was the world I remember when I speak of what was whole. Corruption did not arrive like a storm. It began as a thought, a small and private turning of the mind. Lucifer was not a beast of fury. He was contemplative, proud, having seen his own reflection, and found it beautiful. He pondered the heights and the order. In that pondering, a question took root. What if I were higher still? The sin was not a shout but a whisper. It was the desire to ascend beyond the place given, the quiet exalting of self above the ordinance of heaven. Pride wrapped itself in reason and wore the face of aspiration. It spoke of merit and of destiny. It made a claim that sounded, at first, like wisdom. The whisper multiplied into counsel. Counsel into persuasion, and persuasion into a choice that would cleave the host. When the fracture widened, the conflict that followed was recorded not as a spectacle of blades, but as a turning of loyalties. Michael rose as one who must rise. He did not rage. He assumed the office of defense as a captain assumes his post. The loyal host stood firm, not in the heat of battle, but in the steadiness of fidelity. They were counted and found faithful. Their rebels were cast out. The telling of it is sober and measured. Names were spoken. Decrees were given. And the order of things was restored by the weight of decision. The expulsion was not a triumphal cry, but a necessary severing. Heaven bore a wound, and that wound left a scar upon the fabric of the spheres. Even after the reels fell and the rebels were gone, a fracture remained, a place where trust had been rent and could not be wholly mended. Among those who remained were 5 who did not choose. They are not called traitors in the old records, but deserters of a different sort. They refused the stand with Lucifer, and they refused to stand with heaven. In the hour when the host was called to witness, they hesitated, they listened, they doubted. They froze. The listener sat with ears open and mouth closed. He took in every argument, every plea, every promise, and he made of himself a receptacle for voices. He believed that understanding might absolve him of the need to act. In the end, his listening became a refuge from responsibility. The doubter held questions like stones in his hands. He weighed doctrine and doubt, as if the two could be balanced forever. He imagined that time would clarify his choice. Time did not clarify. It hardened his indecision into a verdict against him. The hider withdrew into the shadow of the galleries. He told himself that absence was safety. He thought that by hiding he might escape the stain of decision. Hiding became a slow erosion of courage until he could no longer find the face of his own conviction. The follower of the crowd looked to others for direction and found only the echo of their own fear. He moved with the tide of those nearest him, not from conviction but from the comfort of not being alone. When the tide turned, he had no anchor. The silent one was struck dumb by the enormity of the moment. Shock closed his throat. He could not speak, could not move, could not choose. Silence became his sentence. Their unraveling was not dramatic in the way of rebellion. It was a quiet, inward collapse. Their minds frayed at the edges. Their hearts grew thin with regret. The moral weight of this failure is absolute. Doing nothing in the hour of rebellion was itself a choice. The tragedy is not that they acted against the Lord, but that they would not act for Him. When action was required, their guilt rests on refusal, on the abandonment of the duty to stand. Uriel is introduced not with fanfare, but with a hush. He is heaven's silent blade, appointed to hunt the hidden corruption. He does not storm the halls. He does not raise a voice to shame. He simply arrives, and his presence is judgment. Where others would thunder, he is stillness. Where others would brandish, he is inevitability. There is no cruelty in him. There is a calm so absolute that it becomes terrifying. He is not a prosecutor who delights in accusation. He is a blade that remembers its purpose. His silence carries the weight of law. His steps are the measure of consequence. The deserters fled through the halls like prey, but this is not a chase of spectacle. Their panic is a wholly psychological unraveling. They sense Uriel. Before they see him, they feel the approach of justice as one feels a winter coming, not with noise, but with the slow, certain falling of temperature. Fear and regret drip from them, like water from a garment. One by one, Uriel finds them. Each encounter is quiet, solemn, and final. He does not shout their crimes. He does not enact spectacle. He pronounces verdicts with the gravity of a bell tolling. The listener is met with a look that asks why he made his ear a refuge. The doubter hears a silence that answers every question with the weight of consequence. The hider is found in the place he thought safe and is told that absence is not innocence. The follower of the crowd is shown that companionship in fear is no substitute for conviction. The silent one is lifted from a stupor and made to hear the simple truth he could not speak. Violence is minimal. The drama is moral and psychological. The finality is not in the breaking of bodies, but in the closing of possibilities. Each deserter receives a verdict that is less punishment than recognition. The recognition that neutrality in the face of truth is itself a betrayal. At last, the final deserter falls to his knees before Uriel. He is the one who has gone silent from shock. He begs for understanding. He insists he never chose Lucifer. He insists he never rebelled. He repeats the litany of his hesitation. I only listened. I only hesitated. I only froze. He asks why he is judged. For the first time in this telling, Uriel speaks. His voice is not loud. It is a single unadorned sentence that carries the weight of the law. Because you would not choose the Lord. Those words hang in the halls like a verdict and like a lament. They are not triumphant. They are the simple accounting of duty left undone. This moment marks the birth of Uriel's mission. He becomes the silent hunt for corruption, the blade of heaven walking the halls of eternity. He will not seek spectacle. He will not revel in punishment. He will move where the fracture hides, where neutrality breeds rot, where the small, quiet betrayals fester. His is a ministry of inevitability and sorrow. I close with this reflection. On the cusp of neutrality and the weight of justice, the story is not told to glorify retribution, but to mourn the slow deaths of conviction. Heaven remains brilliant, but its light is now tempered by memory. The host sings still, but the song carries a minor chord that was not there before. Uriel walks that chord into the endless days, a reminder that choice is the measure of fidelity, and that silence in the face of truth is a wound that will be tended by a blade that does not boast. If you have listened to this telling, remember the lesson it keeps. To stand is to live. To refuse is to fall. If this narration moved you, like the video and subscribe for more mythic tales and solemn histories.